Assalamu alaikum and welcome to An Nur the Light. The saying, the apple does not fall far from the tree, is very true for this week's first story. Zahid Saleh is the son of renowned scholar, teacher and writer Sheikh Abdurrahim Saleh, who passed away a few years ago. Together with his wife, Noura Saleh, they have launched Red Kufi Books and started their first children's book. We spent some time with the couple.
In Islam, being well-read is a virtue endorsed by the divine. After all, it was at the command of heavenly instruction that the Prophet Muhammad was ordered to read. It was with this sentiment in mind that Islamic book publisher Red Kufi Books was started.
My dad, my late father, he was a prolific writer of Islamic literature. And a few years, it was approximately 10 years ago, we started Daddy's Books, which was the publishing and distribution arm for my father's literature. After his demise, and since I had the idea to take on the publishing role and grant access to the world, to my father's literature, there was a need to rebrand. And the lady that we engaged in, she was a brand, she was involved with branding. And one of the things that she asked us, the questions that she asked us was, what was it that your father loved? He never went anywhere but with his Red Kufi, in Cape Town, known as the Red Kufi, affectionately known as the Red Kufi. And also the symbolism of what the Red Kufi means within the Cape Town. And urban legend has it that back in the day during apartheid, during the throes of apartheid, if there was a magistrate or a judge wanted an alternative opinion, he would request the opinion of any passerby that wore Red Kufi because they were synonymous to being trustworthy and honest people. And so, it all just melted together. And also, the Red Kufi, the Kufic script in Arabic, and my dad being a writer, I think it just all came together quite well. And we decided then that the Red Kufi was going to be, the new name for the company.
Red Kufi Books, formerly known as Daddy's Books, is an online Islamic book publisher led by husband and wife team Zahid Saleh and Noura Saleh. Red Kufi Books was first established to promote the writings of Zahid's father, revered Islamic scholar, the late Sheikh Abdurrahim Hassan Saleh. And today, Red Kufi aims to preserve his legacy of knowledge and learning.
As we progressed, we didn't have a goal in mind in terms of what we were going to do first, and it was just a natural progression. I decided to quit, and then it's like the whole universe aligned. And, alhamdulillah, we were inspired by various people, and we managed within a short space of time to deliver a book which I feel was of a quality that could internationally be recognized, that we could be proud of.
We're each other's biggest critics, but we support each other as well tremendously. And my role, I guess, mainly would be to assist with editing, the writing of the books, just keeping a beady eye on where the style is going and whether the pictures are correlating with text, and just using whatever experience I've had in the media world in trying to deliver a very good product.
Seeking to enable aspiring Muslim writers in bringing their dreams to life, Red Kufi services include editing, art design, typesetting, reproduction, printing, product advertising, and distribution through multimedia platforms.
Zahid and Noura needed an illustrator for the story that they wrote themselves, And a friend of mine recommended me, and then they met up with me. I read this story, and then I just doodled a couple of sketches and tightened them up and so on, and I ran it with them. And they critiqued and made some changes to it, and that's how we went along with the production process. I'm proud to have at least have contributed to a product that they sort of imagined, and I hope it does justice to the ideas that they initially had.
The team branched into a new avenue with their debut children's picture book titled We Love to Play Pray, inspired by Zahid and Noura's 3 children, Yusuf, Su'aib and Mariam. The story focuses on children's natural inclination toward imitating their parents. Playing a new game of play-pray, and in the process learning the important aspects of prayer.
Actually, we both wrote something. We went off into our little corners and we decided we're going to write the story. And then we amalgamated the stories, and that's how We Love to Play, Pray came about. And our children, our 3 children, really are the inspiration for this book because that is how they played.
We understood that there was a need for children's literature within Cape Town. Having 3 kids, you know, and reading to them almost daily. I mean, daily we read to them. And they devour books, and so every week we have to make a journey to the library to get more books because we just can't afford to buy them books. So the library is a big part of our lives. You know, we make it. It's on our calendar regularly, and being within that market, you know, our kids placed us there, and seeing what's on the market really. You know, we definitely knew that there was a void there, and it was always something that we wanted to do. Part of our mission as Red Kufi Books is to call to the first verse, to bring people back to that first Quranic verse that was revealed, Iqra. And, you know, it starts with children. It doesn't start with the adult. And we understood that that's where we needed to start. If we were ever going to create a movement where readership was going to be in vogue again, it was going to start with the kids. And we then decided that Little Kufi would be the children's wing of Red Kufi Books.
The wonder of reading is often lost in our digital world, an unobserved erosion of the right to education. A right the Red Kufi team has made their life's work to advocate and uphold.
Children's books are especially limited in this country, and I think we need more writers to deliver to this market. Moulana Philander is standing by with this week's Q&A.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Welcome to Q&A on An Nur the Light. I'm Moulana Philander. Our first question: my husband and I are struggling to have kids. What are the repercussions of adoption, and what will the result on an adopted child be? The repercussions of adoption is only good. The Prophet of Islam, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, had said, "Ana wa kafilul yatim kahataini fil jannah." Myself and the person who adopts a child, an orphan, will be like this in Jannah. Subhanallah. It is something which is very, very much encouraged and emphasized in Islam. The Quran also speaks about the orphan when it says, وَأَمَّا الْيَتِيمَ فَلَا تَقْهَرْ. As for the orphan, don't disregard them, don't push them away, don't relegate them to the shadows. Subhanallah. So it is something very meritorious in Islam to adopt a child. The only factor that you have to consider is that while you are going to shower love, mercy, everything that the child requires upon that child, you should know as a fact that the child can never be considered your biological child, and that the child does have a biological lineage, and that is all that is required in Islam, to acknowledge the biological lineage of that child. Our next question comes from our email. Is a child allowed to disown a parent if the parent is transgender? When a parent commits any form of wrongdoing, is it possible for a child to disown a parent? It is not possible for a child to disown a parent in any way. The word is just a word, disowning, but a child will forever be bound to the uterus that gave birth to that child. Subhanallah. So if a parent does wrong, and if a parent does wrong in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then it is for that child to try and assist the parent in that regard, try and advise the parent in that regard, but never break ties with that parent. If on the other hand, the parent believes that what the parent is doing is right and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is wrong, then this can be considered a very serious crime, and then different options need to be looked at in terms of the relationship between that child and that parent. But if a person is faltering, we don't break ties with a person just based on the fact that the person is faltering. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who is most forgiving, most merciful to those who turn back and repent to Him. The following question came on our Facebook page. Does my cat also have to eat halal food? Firstly, what is halal food? Halal food is meat, especially, that had been slaughtered in a manner that fulfills the Sharia or Islamic requirements. In Islam, it is man who is duty bound to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Man is the highest of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's creation. Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. Indeed, the most honored of you in the sight of God is those who are most honorable. وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. And indeed, we have honored the sons of Adam. So it is man who has a choice, and it is man who is able to do good and to do wrong. As far as the animal kingdom is concerned, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had created them in a particular manner and on a particular pattern. They are following their natural order, and in them following their natural order, they are in a state of submission and in a state of Islam. So to answer the question plainly, no, your cat does not have to eat halal food. That brings us to the end of this Q&A. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
If you have any questions you'd like Moulana Zakaria to answer, please send them to us via email or Facebook. Also, don't forget to follow us on our social media pages and get your family and friends to do the same. The Old Fort and Jail in Braamfontein is host to a very special exhibition, Unveiling the Hijabi. We had the privilege of finding out more.
Islamic art encompasses a variety of art disciplines and methods, from Arabic calligraphy to painting and textiles. It has been shaped over centuries, visually portraying a way of life, historical advancements of Islam, and the artistic expression of the glorification of Allah.
If you look at the history of Islamic art, post the death of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and if you look at how in Iran, in Iraq, especially in the Middle East, Islamic art was a way of conveying that Islam was spreading as a religion, as a faith. And it ties well in with the modern day perceptions of Islam as well, because what are we trying to do? We're trying to basically explore what Islam is for people today.
Putting a new spin on old traditions are the artists showcasing their work at the unveiling of the Hijabi Exhibition, an exciting display of local talent held at the seat of the Constitutional Court, Constitution Hill. The exhibition is a feast of the best of Johannesburg's Islamic artists, a lineup of visual artists, spoken word poets and writers, all uniquely showcasing the dynamic identities of Muslim women in South Africa.
Unveiling the Hijabi is an art exhibition that focuses on the dynamic identity and role of Muslim women, particularly in South Africa. So it's about exploring who is the Muslim woman behind the hijab, what is her identity, what is the substance behind the hijab. I decided let's get a few women, a few men on board this project to basically showcase the talent of Muslim women, as well as to celebrate who they are in society. So it was a small little project that ended up on a larger scale than ever anticipated.
The exhibition is a celebration of the multitude of talents that Muslim women possess and seeks to dismantle the all-too-common stereotype of the hijabi, transforming it from a symbol of oppression to one of empowerment.
Each needed to contribute 5 pieces. We needed to do research of our own and see how we would contribute towards the exhibition. And I thought of the woman in her various different roles. You know, the mother, the nurturer, the wife, the sister, not particularly as a professional. I didn't look at the woman as a professional. My first one was a woman as an educator or someone seeking knowledge. A second one was a woman in a spiritual form. My third piece was that of a mother. I just wanted to put a mother there because the female or the woman is always a mother, first and foremost, you know.
The art pieces that I've created for the exhibition, they kind of link. There's a common thread throughout them, but the 3 that are portraits are pretty much about what unites all women, not specifically Muslim women. So I was looking at the headscarf in particular and discovered that it's something that all cultures across time and continents share. And I thought that that was something that should be highlighted, that this is something that we all share. It's not something that distinguishes Muslim women. And I also wanted to change the perception that it was something that was a sign of oppression for Muslim women, that it could be something that was a choice and could represent so much more
A goodness does not travel alone. Our children are treasures within treasures. To hearts broken open are meanings beyond measures. Crawling off the bed, surely to land on a head. But a dad there to catch a leg.
Not to be left out of the equation is dynamic spoken word poet Tariq Tofa, the only male featured in the exhibition, honouring the feminine from the male perspective with his poetry.
Possibly the main part of the exhibition are the extraordinary paintings, but there was also a poetry segment to this, and I gave a spoken word performance there. I was also one of the only two males speaking there. So it was, the organizers felt it was really important to have a male voice connecting with a female one about similar issues.
The exhibition also commemorates the artistic contribution of apartheid activist Fatima Meer. A largely unknown aspect of the freedom fighter's life is her work as an artist while jailed at Constitution Hill during apartheid.
My last piece, which was to me was the most significant piece considering the venue of where the exhibition was held, where many, iconic women were imprisoned, Fatima Meer and a few others, was the last painting represented quite a bit of the history there, because it's a picture of a woman in a prison cell. Despite the dreariness of a cell and the darkness of a cell and the background behind why the people were imprisoned, the women were imprisoned, there's so much light in that painting, there's so much hope, there's so much spirituality. And the woman portrayed in that picture is sacrificial in the sense that despite the various roles, the women also partook in the struggle. And for me, that was one of the most significant pieces in my collection.
The unveiling of the Hijabi Exhibition seeks to question undetected stereotypes perpetuated by society and has begun to do that, one art piece at a time.
If you're in Joburg, I hope you've already visited the exhibition. It's only going to be there for a short time. I know I'm definitely going as soon as I can. We're staying in Joburg for this week's travel segment.
If you're looking for a family outing fit for the adventurer, we have just the thing. Mapatiza Underground Gemstone Mine Tours offers visitors an underground mining experience of gems and precious stones.
Mapatiza mine was established 15 years ago. We did that replica mine because people don't know about gemstones, and when they're coming here, then we tell them about the story about the Mapatiza mine in Zambia, and that's why we did the replica mine.
On the mine tour, one can see how precious stones are mined and how these stones look in their natural form.
We have a tour guide, a professional tour guide. He will take the people onto the tour from the beginning to the end. They can touch, feel, and they get educated about the stones. They get taught about all the different stones what we have here in the yard and in the mine.
The mine may not be active, but the stones and jewels found here are certainly dazzling. Whether you're looking for steak, prawns, pizza, or something with a difference, roasted coriander is there to suit your tastes.
At Roasted Coriander, we aim to establish ourselves within the community as a place where people of different cultures, races, religions, age, gender can come and just enjoy a cosmopolitan menu as well as various forms of entertainment and a vibe that we have here at Roasted Coriander.
Breakfasts are highly sought after, and wholesome hearty meals are a favorite for those looking for a taste of home.
Well, we have many great dishes on our menu, but one dish that most people come every day for is masala eggs, kebabs and roti. And it's home-style cooking, so when people come here, they love it because it reminds them of home. At the same time, they're here enjoying a vibey atmosphere.
With a hands-on approach to creating dishes from around the world and an environment suited to the whole family, it's a great place to relax, unwind and enjoy food with a difference. Wondering what to do on your next trip to Gauteng? Well, how about a jam-packed adventure day that's not for the faint-hearted?
Blades and Triggers is basically a huge franchise, right? They actually, how we say, they state what they are, Blades and Triggers. We've got stores basically all over the whole country. Blades, selling knives, selling artificial swords, all these things, right up to triggers, paintball markers, airsoft guns, air rifles, and all those things.
If you're not scared to take a hit and enjoy competitive sports, paintball may just be your new favorite thing.
The only thing that we require the people to come in is just to have comfortable shoes. It's very difficult to run around in the fields, especially with flip-flops, all right? We do provide everything else. So we provide full coveralls, protection, padding, masks, everything you need to actually play. So the only thing that we require is comfortable shoes. You can definitely expect to have fun, all right? You can definitely expect to have the rush that you cannot really get anywhere else.
I would like to say Jazakallah for tuning in every week. Your support is what keeps us on screen, and if you have suggestions for what you'd like to see, then let us know. We're done for this week. From me, Mara Mukwanda, Salang Hantle, Assalamu alaikum.
Habibi ya Rasulallah, 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 Habibi ya Rasulallah. The greatest man to walk the earth, the greatest words that had been heard, the greatest man to walk the earth, the greatest words that had been heard. Your life, it was a miracle, Habibi ya Rasulallah. Your life, it was a miracle, Habibi ya Rasulallah. Habibi ya Rasulallah, Habibi ya Rasulallah, Habibi ya Rasulallah, Habibi ya Rasulallah. You are the messenger of mercy, you are the messenger of peace, you are the messenger of mercy, you are the messenger of peace. You said to care for all mankind, regardless of their faith or mind. You said to care for all mankind, regardless